So it's all over. The hothouse has closed its doors for the final time and all the plants are gone. Some are in here in the greenhouse, many are in the house, several are currently converting themselves into compost. Why such drastic action? Well, I'll tell you my reasons and the lessons I've learned, because you might just find yourself in a similar situation. And my final point is well worth sticking around for, because it's a lesson that everyone who collects plants needs writing up right on their foreheads so that they're reminded every time they look in the mirror. Let's get started. And we are in. Okay, so let's get straight to it. If you're a long-time viewer, you'll recall I used to heat a small section of the greenhouse specifically for warm growing plants, those that need over 18 degrees Celsius all year round. But then, to expand my collection and save on heating costs, so-called, I repurposed what once was an outside office building to house them all. The idea being that it was going to be larger, much better insulated than the greenhouse. And that's where we've been for the last couple of years. So why close it down? Well, there are a number of reasons and a few lessons in there too. Let's go through them. Number one, I'm sure you don't need reminding how high the price of electricity is right now, with no sign of a drop in the future. So my initial intention was to reduce costs. Now, imagine you have a well-insulated thermos bottle designed to keep your coffee hot. You hope that this thermos will save you money on buying hot coffee every day. However, inevitably, despite this fantastic thermos, you find yourself still buying 2 cups of coffee daily. So now you've added a third. It's like having an excellent thermos, but your love for coffee binds you to the fact that you're still spending more than you intend. So despite my hopes of reducing costs due to the superior insulation of the office building, in reality I was still heating the greenhouse with 2 heaters, but now I had an additional fan heater running. But you see, I was blinded by the plants. They do that to you. So after last winter I decided I really had to reduce my electricity bills. But that's not all. Okay, second point. Now, imagine having one of those very expensive winter coats. You know, the ones lightweight, waterproof, breathable, windproof and so on. It's what they're designed for, but imagine wearing it inside out on a wet and windy winter's day. I don't imagine things would go too well, as the inside isn't designed to withstand the same factors that affect the outside. Now, imagine what I was doing in the hothouse, specifically storing and watering a large collection of plants, resulting in a continuously high internal humidity and water spillages, of course. The structure is made entirely from wood, but the external wood is of a different kind to the internal wood, so unsurprisingly it began to rot from the inside. It was never designed for that purpose, so it was never going to last forever in those circumstances. Now, my third point is actually broken into 2. I've got 2 very important and possibly surprising facts, and they became apparent to me over the last 2 years. First up, think of owning plants like owning a collection of supercars. They may look stunning and turn heads, but if you can't take them out for a spin and enjoy the thrill of driving, they're just expensive ornaments in your garage. It was exactly like this in the hothouse. I didn't realise how much of this hobby is about the doing as opposed to the looking. The hothouse wasn't set up for the doing part of plant collecting. Tasks like repotting, propagating, snipping, preparing feed, practical jobs that the greenhouse is set up for. So while it's always a joy to potter about in the greenhouse, keeping on top of the hothouse became a bind. Now, the other surprising fact is that it slowly dawned on me that I wasn't that keen on a number of the plants in there. Plants that start off looking good, but as they grow they become straggly and unmanageable. I'm not going to mention which ones, but I bet you can guess. Something had to give. So because of these reasons, I've shut it down. I've rescued everything I really like, begonias, some of the aroids, orchids, hippeastrums, but I have been ruthless about those plants that I'm so about. That point in particular is worth repeating to myself and anyone else involved in plant collecting. If it hasn't thrived or bloomed in 2 years, it isn't going to. Get rid of it. It isn't worth your time, and that's what we plant collectors need tattooing on our forearms. Repeat after me: ditch the underperformers. Now I've no regrets about it. I've enjoyed growing the warmer plants, seeing them thrive in most cases and become very lush. Not so much enjoyed the fungus gnat infestation or trying to arrange holiday watering while I'm away. But overall it's been a blast. And now on to the next project. I like to compare it with buying a bunch of flowers. They'll last you a week at most. Mine lasted 2 years and I still have many of them. So if you want a reminder for old time's sake of what the hothouse actually looked like in its prime, check out this video up here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.